Hey, 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 Nicole Roberts Jones here, and welcome to this episode of the MeaningFULL Work Podcast. A time I connect with you to give you insight, tools, strategy, so that you can go after your breathtaking future as you live a life full of meaning and fulfillment. Now, I got to tell you, this episode is based on another email I've gotten, not just emails, but let me tell you, in the last few months as I launched this podcast, the one question I get from so many of you is around making a transition in your career. Matter of fact, I was having a conversation with one of my clients who is a successful C suite person. Let me say it like that. And she's in the middle of navigating a huge transition. So, whether it's due to you having layoffs due to the current climate we're in as I record this episode, or you know that it's time for your next best move because you're bored at work, or anything in between, this episode, or actually say this three-part series, y'all, is for you. And the reason it's three parts is because there's so much we've got to go through so that you make the pivot in alignment, not just for your next best move, but in alignment with God's highest and best version of you. Usually, that's a version of you that you have not yet become. I'm going in at the beginning. So I like to call that career transition a pivot. And let me tell you, I get that pivot, and really, I'm going to talk to you about the power in your pivot and give you tools to make that powerful pivot. Now, listen, there's two ways you can look at a pivot move, right? The first is when I was little, every Saturday morning I was in ballet, somebody's ballet class. Those of you that are with me here on YouTube, you're seeing a picture of a ballet dancer or her feet, right? And the reason I'm only showing her feet is this. Here's what a pivot move is in ballet, whether it's ballet, tap, jazz, is when you're making a move, but you're leaving one foot stationary. You've seen it, and if my studio was big enough, I'd get up and show you one, because yes, I used to be a ballet dancer and a tap dancer. But what you're doing is you're leaving one foot stationary while you're making your turns. That foot isn't moving. It isn't coming off of the floor is what I should say. Or those of you that didn't take ballet like I did, maybe from a basketball standpoint, a pivot in basketball is when you are holding the ball in your hand and you're moving, you leave one foot stationary again, but you're moving the other foot trying to see who you're going to pass the ball to, or should you shoot it? And by the way, if you move that other foot, they call that traveling. So whether you look at pivot from the place of ballet, like me, or basketball, I need you to understand the transition that you need to make will be a pivot move if you do it the right way. Listen, I hear so many people that say, I want to just jump out on faith. But wait a minute. God never tells you to do stuff and not think it through and not have strategy. So the power in your pivot is to start to create the strategy before you take the leap. And yes, it's going to require you to take a leap. We're going to talk about that today. And so this series is really what I'm giving you is tools to find the power in the pivot you need to make to deal with the career transition that you're in, or the one you know you're getting ready to go through. Listen, let me say it to you like this, and why this is so important. And you've heard me say this before. God is going to let you live on whatever level you settle for. I'm going to say that one more time for the people in the back. God is going to let you live on whatever level you settle for. See, I don't serve a small God, so I don't make small moves. And when you make a huge move that's bigger than where you already are, it's going to be scary. That's how God works. I think he puts us in these situations so we have to rely on him. And your pivot may just be a move if it's big enough. If you listen, you've heard me say this, deliberate mediocrity is a sin. I think I said it in the first series I did in this podcast, but you have a choice on the level you choose. You can choose to stay in your comfort, nice, easy, you don't push, you don't stretch. Or you can go after your success. You can go after your stretch move. You can go after the next level of you. So if you're here in this series, my goal for you is that you go after your next. There's another move inside of you. And I can tell you while I'm recording this podcast right now, I'm in the middle of my own pivot move. I'll tell y'all about it once it finishes, right? God is doing some things. Ooh, it's so good. I can't wait to share with you. But here's what I'm going to talk to you about here in part one of this three-part series. Defeating status quo syndrome. The insight to propel your career forward. Defeating status quo syndrome. I'm going to give you the insight to propel your career forward. Why? Because I need you to understand living good enough and average and mediocre. First of all, I'm allergic to average. I don't do average. Come on, somebody. But God never intended for you to be status quo. If you don't serve a status quo God, why are you living in good enough? Why are you settling in your career? Why are you letting fear keep you in the place you're in instead of going after that next pivot move you know is dying in your heart to make? And then sometimes God will push you out. It's called being laid off or fired or what have you, because he knows it's time for your next. So wherever you are, I'm going to support you. But here's what I want you to know why this is so fundamentally important here. Bible verse John 10:10 says this: the thief does not come except to steal and to kill and to destroy. This is Jesus talking. He said, I have come that they may have life, talking about us, and that they may have it more abundantly. See, the enemy wants to steal, kill, and destroy the very abundance God has tied to you, just like I have abundance tied to me. I can't wait to talk to you about God wanting you to be wealthy in our next series. Is coming, right? But career transitions was a number one thing I've been asked about in the last couple months. So the enemy wants you to be depressed, worried, overwhelmed, anxious. He wants you to live in fear instead of pushing through it. And what Jesus says is, I didn't come for any of that. I've come that you have life and have it more abundantly. But I need you to understand abundance takes some things you got to get through. And so in part one here, I'm going to walk you through that. But in order to do that, I want to share with you. You guys know I always give a muse to our our stories, and the reason I do this is because I'm a story kind of person. I connect to stories, and so I always want to give you an example of someone that had to do it. And so our example here is Father Abraham. So this is taken from Genesis. You can read the whole chapter of 12th chapter in Genesis. I'm only going to read verses 1 through 3. Again, Genesis 12, 1 through 3. By the way, those of you that are listening, I always do slides when I'm teaching you. So come on over to the YouTube page. My YouTube is nrjnetwork.com. So you can see the slides, because I'm getting ready to go in, y'all. I'm giving you 4 steps in a second, right? So this is what God says to Abraham. He says, get out of your country, from your family, and from your father's house to a land that I will show you. I will make you a great nation. I will bless you and make your name great, and you shall be a blessing. I will bless those who bless you, and I will curse him who curses you, and you and all the families of the earth shall be blessed. The thing that's interesting in this Bible verse, y'all, is how many times does God repeat himself? He says, I will make you a great nation. I will bless you and make your name great, and you shall be a blessing. He says it over and over again, as if he's trying to assure Abraham that I'm going to ask you to do something that's outside of your comfort zone. And it's going to be scary. But when you do it, I will make your name great. And so I wonder if you realize there's another level of you waiting for you. So what I want to walk you through here in this episode are the 4 feelings that Abraham had to push past, that you will also have to push past, so that you can defeat status quo. Okay, I'm going to walk you through 4 feelings or 4 things that you will have to push past. So either you're in all 4, you're one of the 4. If you're not in them yet, you will be. So take note, because I'm going to give you some tools. Y'all ready? You got your pen? Okay, so number 1 is loss of connection. Who knows me? See, when you're going somewhere you've never been, you will feel lost, like you don't know anybody there. So this looks like when you are becoming a mom, and maybe none of your friends are a mom, or maybe you're moving companies and all your friends are in the other company, or maybe you're starting a business and this was me. None of my friends had a business like mine. Or maybe you've been in your company for 20 years and now you're being pushed into something different. And it's like, oh my God, nobody knows me. You're changing your roles. Maybe you're an empty nester. Now you're at home and your kids are gone, and now you have to look at your mate or yourself, and you got to shift and do things differently because you're getting to know yourself at this new level. Or maybe you're moving cities. This is me. I've moved, 1, 2, 3 different cities. I'm from California. I lived in Milwaukee. I lived in Boston, and now I live in the DMV area, DC. I live in Virginia of the DMV, right outside of DC. Sorry, y'all. I feel a piece of hair on my face somewhere. It's driving me crazy a little bit, but anyway, I don't know where it is. Anyway, so anytime you're changing roles, it affects how you relate to either one another when you're talking about being an empty nester or being a new mom with your girlfriends who aren't a mom, or maybe the first to get married or divorced or whatever that is, or maybe you're dealing with loss. You've lost your mate and no one around you. You listen, you are really beginning to understand that you may have to create newness in this place. And it's not that who you already are isn't good enough. But I need you to understand, and I'm going to say this over and over again, probably in this episode. I know I've said it in previous ones. When your purpose is matriculating, like you do through education, you don't go into junior high with a kindergarten state of mind. Come on, somebody. You've got to let kindergarten go. Forgetting those things which are behind and reaching forward to those things which are ahead, I press. As Philippians 3:13 and 14, if I'm not mistaken. Sisters, I do not, hold on, let me look it up real quick. Where's my phone? You know, I love when the Bible verse just jumps in my mind when I'm teaching. Hold on, y'all. Ooh, Instagram opened up on accident. Hold on, pulling up my Bible app so I can link this up quickly. I want to read the Bible verse correctly. Sometimes my memory is good, sometimes it's not. Okay, 3:13. 13, here it is. Brothers and sisters, this is new NIV. I do not consider myself yet to have taken hold of it, but one thing I do, forgetting what is behind and straining forward what is ahead. I press on toward the goal to win the prize for which God has called me. That's NIV version. So now let me read it in New King James Version. My favorite. Hold on, I'm trying to go back to 13. Here we go. Brethren, I do not count myself to have apprehended, but one thing I do, forgetting those things which are behind and reaching forward to those things which are ahead, I press toward the goal for the prize of the upper call. See, what God was saying is, Abraham, I'm going to need you to forget about where you live and where you're from. That's great. I need you to let go of all your people, all your friends. I'm taking you to a new place, a place that I'm going to expand your territory in. And so he had to let go of connection or deal with loss of connection. And that's real. So if that's a place you're in, I want you to look at how can you get into reconnection. So if I give you some examples for me, when allergies acting up, y'all, I'm sorry. When I've moved cities, I instantly connected with organizations I was a part of, right? When I've moved companies, I begin to see who in my arena could be my mentor, even if it's a silent mentor. I look at, listen, when I became a bonus mom and all my friends had been moms and nobody was dealing with the bonusness and stepness of it, I started reading books. You find your connection. And if you're feeling a loss of connection, don't let that make you run back to your comfort zone. The enemy is trying to steal, kill, and destroy your success by loss of connection. The next step, number 2, second area you need to check is loss of competence. I don't know how. Listen, again, this is where that imposter syndrome begins to show up. When you're playing bigger than you've ever played before, you start to feel like an imposter. Like, I don't know what I'm doing, right? When you do, it's just another level of your gift. Again, you can't go into high school with the kindergarten state of mind. You can't go into college with the kindergarten state of mind. But you need the kindergarten, the first grade, the second grade. You need all those things to be in college. The same way you needed all the things you've been through up until now to be in this new place that God is taking you to. Romans 8, I believe it's 8:28. All things work together for the good. Not a couple things, not a few things. But if you're not careful, you will begin to feel a loss of confidence. Like, I don't know how to do this. And I have a good girlfriend that's a doctor. And she had just finished medical school. And she's in the hospital walking with her patient. And her patient starts to have a seizure. And this is a true story. And she said, she started saying, oh my God, we need a doctor. We need a doctor. And someone said, you are a doctor. She said, oh, that's right. And it clicked in. I need 10 cc's. She had forgotten who she was for a moment. Many of you have forgotten who you were. Maybe you've had a boss that didn't appreciate you previously, and now you got a new boss. Maybe the company that you were in never gave you a raise, and so it's keeping you looking through those glasses again. The enemy comes to steal, kill, and destroy. Your previous boss might not have appreciated you, might have looked over you, might not have given you the raise you needed, but don't let that previous place, forgetting those things which are behind, hinder your next place and make you forget who you are. These are the times that you need to take some time and look at what is this new season and what's this new level of me that I need to come into in order to be the woman that God is creating me to be, right? There's a Bible verse here I'm going to put on the screen. Isaiah 43:19 that says, "Behold, I will do a new thing. Now it shall spring forth. Shall ye not know it? I will even make a way in the wilderness and rivers in the deserts." This is God talking to Moses, right? And so I want you to get this. And here I go. Y'all know I always love my Tony Evans, giving Tony Evans a shout out because I use his stuff all the time because it's good, right? Here's what it says in Tony Evans. This is his commentary Bible, right? Look, I'm about to do something new. Even now it is coming. Do you see it? Indeed, I will make a way in the wilderness, rivers in the desert. Implies that even though the trip from Babylon back to Israel would lead through treacherous territory, God will go ahead of the people and make a way. The reason I'm saying this to you is sometimes it looks like it's impossible to go through this new thing. This is where God does his best work because your faith doesn't get activated until you're in the face of fear. And the reason, as a successful woman or man, for the few good men that listen to the podcast, you're staying stuck in this loss of connection, or excuse me, competence, is because you can't figure out how. When God does his best work, when you lean totally on him and not only on you, because it ain't just about you. God has gifted you and made you so uniquely special. When you begin to trust the gift that's inside of you, even if you feel like a fish out of water, because listen, you may have been a big fish in a small pond in your previous place, but now God is making you a small fish in a bigger pond. It just gives you an opportunity to grow your gift. One of my favorite songs I used to sing in church, which is a Bible verse, is stir up the gift, stir up the gift. And that's what God is doing. He's stirring up your gift. Next one, which is related to this one. Number 3 is loss of contribution. Like, where is my place? Maybe you've got a new boss. Maybe your company is going through a merger and you feel like, where is my place? Like, do I fit here? So I'm going to encourage you to take some time to look at those 3. I got a 4th one, but I'm going to tell you all 3 of those culminate in the 4th one. If you're dealing with loss of connection, loss of competence, or loss of contribution, it usually means that you are in a place of loss of identity. Who am I? Listen, I saw this quote somewhere and I don't remember where I got it from, but let me read it. Throughout our lives, we consciously ask identity questions. What must I do to find my place? What gives me significance? What do I have to do to find love and belong? We learn from parents, teachers, friends, life experiences what it takes for us to feel that we are loved as and significant. The problem is that the answers to these questions are often out of a desire for self-promotion or self-protection. So in the place you're in, are you looking for promotion or protection? I need you to understand sometimes you're looking for an outside answer to an inside yearning. That inside yearning means you need to sit in quiet contemplation and connect with you. And dare I say, with the God in you. And what came up in my mind was It's a God in Me by Mary Mary. Meaning if you don't sit long enough to let God speak to your soul. hmm And so I want you to understand. And by the way, if you are having a hard time with understanding what your purpose is, go back and watch the Cracking the Code episodes here in the Meaningful Work podcast. I think that was episode 2, 3, and 4. Because really what I did is set out to help you understand what your purpose is and the work that is in alignment with it. So you need to understand if you're feeling any of those things, let me put them back on the screen. Loss of connection, who knows me? Loss of competence, I don't know how. Loss of contribution, where is my place? Or loss of identity, who am I? Loss of identity happens big when your kids go off to school, especially if you've been a stay-at-home mom or your life was all engulfed in basketball, football, cheerleading, track, soccer, and now all that's gone. I need you to understand where you are. And listen, y'all know me well enough to know that I can only give you so much in the time we have on these podcasts. So I'm always going to give you some help so you can begin to develop your plays. Now, this is only part 1, y'all. We got 3 parts to go. Okay. So again, this is all about you defeating status quo. So I'm gifting you with a Power in Your Pivot playbook for free. All you've got to do is go to www.powerinyourpivot.com. Now we're going to build on it each day. For part 1, I'm really sitting with what you really want. I'm sitting with what you really want and really having you do exercises to sit with where you are and what's drumming up in your soul. Again, powerinyourpivot.com. And why am I giving you this work? Because I need you to understand that God did not create you to settle or live in good enough. If you're going to go after the next level, you got to work for it. It don't come easy. It doesn't. It's just like, let me tell y'all, my hardest challenge right now is weight in my perimenal pause stage. That always worked out, but my working out and eating clean and all that, none of that was working. And so I finally found a trainer that then told me I had to walk 45 minutes uphill. I would admit that I do cheat and I do 30 minutes, but I am walking uphill and I never walked uphill before. Then he gave me a list of exercises that I have to do. I had to do things in a different way. And no morning do I ever want to do it. I'm going to be honest. But if I want something different, I've got to do something different. If you really want to go after that next level of you that's dying to come out, listen, some of y'all are pregnant with your purpose. And you're in the 9th month. And many of you, it's been dying to come out, and you may even be walking around with a dead baby inside you. It's time to do the work to push it out. It's time to do the work to go after that career transition that God has for you. It's time for you to do the work. So this is part 1, y'all. I got 2 more parts to go. And the reason I'm stopping here is because I really want you to sit with where you are, and I'm going to build on it in our next episode. All right. So as always, I want to hear takeaways. If you are in the middle of a pivot, share below, ask me a question so I can support you. Tell me where you are, what you found hard in your pivot. Tell me where you are that you're finding it hard right now. If you found value, do me a favor and share it. Why do I always ask you to share? Because somebody in your network, in your tribe needs this insight, and they would never know it was here. They would never know it was available unless you share it. So please, if you're on YouTube, click and share and take the link and text and email people. If you are on the podcast channel, I think there's some way you can share it in the audio. But either way, send a note to your friends and say, go to MeaningFULL, F-U-L-L, MeaningFULLWorkPodcast.com and listen to this episode. And the reason I'm doing that is because we're in the middle of a huge transition in our country right now. Many of you are faced with layoffs, with business decisions, with career decisions. I'm going to give you the tools to support you because God never intends for you to live. And again, good enough. He doesn't want to steal, kill, or destroy, but the enemy does. So we're not going to give him that power. All right. So do your work. And I'll see you for part 2 of this series. Bye, y'all.